thank you. And also, well, I'm about to explain a little bit for some of the new ones that are joining us today, that these figures are numbered and those will be the measures, So what can we do? What can we know from that? That those are, let's say, um, I cannot, how can I put it in English words? Those are the blocks of bits that we in which will be like building a song. So all the measures, as you might know, are mainly created in 4 bits in a measure of 4 quarters, I believe is what it's called in English. So what we really have to know is that when we are counting 4, we are doing 4 down movements and 4 up movements. So the down movements will be at most of the times the strong beats, and most of the times when we do an upbeat movement, an upstroke, will be a soft accent. We will be trying to put less accent on those strums. So for example, at this point here, this 7 might look like you have to just play that one and it's really lonely. I may fix my audio here because I'm having some electric troubles, so I'm gonna fix it. Otherwise, it will keep happening. Okay, great. I believe I fixed it now. So, what I was going to ask you is, what I was going to tell you is that every time we see a chord here, the chord will being played. The melody will keep being played around that chord. This symbol means repetition. So all these kind of almost the 2 full measures the melody will be played on this F major 7. And what we really have to know is that we always have to try at least at the most as you can, of course, as a suggestion, of course. But the best that we can do is try to think all the time about the chord that we are doing. Sometimes when we're doing melody, we tend to forget about the chord and we start to think about the melody as in frets or something like that. But my main technique, what I use mainly to not only compose and build arrangements, but to play live and sometimes jam or do some improvisation, is all the time try to think. I'm thinking about the chords that the song is being, the chords that the song has, and the chords that are being played at the moment. And what I try is to build the melody around those chords, not only the basic main chord, but all the positions, all the different positions that a chord might have. So I know that I'm talking a lot about a lot of subjects. We haven't talked about different positions. We haven't talked too much about the accents, and those are subjects that requires like their own lesson. For example, I don't want to change too much the subject of the song, but let's keep the first figure as an example. I will try to remain as the song as much as possible. So we have a bar chord here on the 5th because the F chord here is the second position of the F chord. I don't know if you see properly here. I'm gonna try to change the camera. So here we have the F chord, the basic position here with finger 1 and finger 2. And this is the main F that we know, but here in the 5th chord, with a bar chord and or pinky. On the 8th fret, we have another F chord. So you might know that from before, but for those who don't know, this bar chord comes from this C chord position, and the best that we can do is start to think on those on those let's say on those shapes, or let's say on that relation between those uh, spaces, you know, the relation between this space between and this and this and this. So if we start to think on the chords as in chords in positions, not as in separate chords, for example, C and D, for example, if I do this D chord, I can do this E chord. So I start to think mainly about this shape more than the D itself or the E itself. So the 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 best suggestion for me that I can give you is to think about the chords as in shapes all the time, not as, for example, this G chord. Let's think about this G chord as a major position, not as a G chord only, but as a notes relation, as a let's say, how can I say it, as a space relationship in between them, let's say in a kind of geometrical way. So if you start to think about this note and this note and this note, this relationship here, 1, 2, 3, 2, this relationship here, and this other open string, because here with this open string belongs to this G chord, to this major chord. So now if I start to think about this G chord as in a major chord that I can transpose, I start to take this G chord and I make it into a G sharp, A sharp. I know this position looks really hard to do. I won't ask you to do it because it takes time. It's like doing this G chord, but with these fingers, the middle finger, finger number 2 on the 2nd fret, finger number 3 on the 2nd fret, 1st string, and pinky on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. So this is a G chord, but we are doing it with a whole totally different kind of setup that we are used to. We never play this G chord with this shape, don't we? So it's very possible that this will be one of the hardest chords to transpose, and it's okay because it's really hard. I don't use it too often because yes, it takes time to put these fingers in this shape and get them used to. So don't worry, I won't ask you to do that. So the whole point is that we start to think about these chords in a way that we can transpose them. So I will teach you a trick. I was asking you to think about this index finger here when we transpose, for example, this G shape chord. I will start to call them G shape because this is a G shape. But now if I ask you to do this G shape wherever you want without playing the 4th string, because now that we know that to transpose this chord we need this index, well, let's kind of make a sheet here. Let's kind of, I don't know if I'm spelling it right, but let's try to make this little trick. So what I mainly do with this chord, I use it a lot, but I don't transpose this 4th string. What I do is mute it. So I keep doing this G shape chord, this major chord, but without playing the 4th string. So I'm muting it with my thumb, or not even muting it. I just strum from the 3rd string and I don't make it ring. So in that way I have G, G sharp, A, E sharp, B, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp. So I can use all these positions. For example, you know this C chord here? So if you play this G sharp, but in the 7th fret, you have a C chord. I don't know if you knew that. So with this C chord here, well, it's kind of sounds kind of nice. For example, let's think about the very typical chord progression that we all know: C, G, A minor, F, C, G, A minor, F. So I do this C here. So I changed this C for this one. So I keep this G chord shape, this G shape, but I play it here. So here in this C chord, I can play the 4th string because the 4th string belongs to the C chord. So there are several also positions where you can play this C, this G, open G, and it will sound good also. For example, this B flat here on the 5th fret, I play it a lot with the 4th open string. That makes of it a B flat 6, which I love. I really like this chord. So I can play here, see? B flat, C, B flat, and G. Yes, the G and the B flat, they don't mix too much very well because when we are playing a B flat, the actual chord that belongs to the B flat key will be G minor. But I'm changing too much the subject. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you with too much information. What I would like to continue to talk about is the song, and I would like to rewind a little bit of the things that I was saying because I lost the trail a little bit. So when we are doing this figure until the next chord that we find, we will be playing over this F major 7. That's why we try to keep the chord as much as we can here on these fifths. We will try all the time to keep the chord and play the melody over the chord. So we will try to always know or think on what chord are we in. So figure number 1, Profe, let's start, please. Okay. So bar number 5 here, 5th fret, and we will try to stretch our pinky until the 10th fret. I know this is kind of a big stretch for some of you, so let's try to not not make too much strength here. Let's try not to try too hard to make this chord sound. Let's try to press the most soft as we can. We try to press really soft, and we try to press a little by little, and whenever the notes start to appear, that's the proper strength that we need, not more than it, not more than it. Yes, so what we have to do is strum with volume here on the right hand. So the volume is here on the right hand, not in the left hand. So whenever you want more sound, it's about the right hand, not the left hand. So I will try to see if we can play the figure number 1. Let's play the first 2 beats. We do 1, 2, down, down. Those are the first 2 beats. Down, down. So when we look, this 7 is an and it only says 7, but we can play the rest of the chord, the notes that are from that come from the last strum here, these fives, what we will have to do is this seven can be played with these fives. I write the seven to try to not write chords, chords, chords all the time, and to make a difference between the downstrokes and the upstrokes. But that doesn't mean that this upstroke has to be this little seven. We can do this. So I do down, down, seven by itself, and down. Or I can do this, down, down, up, down. So in this up, I'm pressing more notes than the one that is written down on the tabs. So all this that I was talking about is to try to let you know that let's try to not take too literal the tabs, because sometimes when I put too much information, it becomes really messy to read. It becomes really hard to read. So what we will try to do here is do down, down, up, down. So I lift my pinky and I put my ring finger. Let's call the fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, because otherwise I will sometimes get lost. So I don't know if I was telling you before, but the left hand, we will call them finger number 1, finger number 2, finger number 3, finger number 4. And we will try all the time to think about the 4 frets that the hand is on. So one thing I haven't told, but is that I'm all the time trying to distribute the work between my 4 fingers on the 4 frets that the fingers are on. Yes, sometimes I make a stretch and I go over more fingers. But what I try to do is all the time think about this block. Let's call this block. Wherever my hand is and my 4 fingers are working on, I will call them a block. So most of the time, or when I'm playing a song, when we are doing an arrangement, I will try to keep the hand on the same block. And if I have to move it sometime, maybe I will try to move it in a place that all the work is there also. And when we come back, there will be also some of the notes that we need to be playing on, there will be there. So I don't know if I'm being a little bit confusing here. What I'm just trying to tell you is in this moment here on this major 7, the block here starts in this 5th fret and we make this stretch here with the pinky. Yes, but we come back like pretty quickly because we do just those 2 downstrokes. So, and the rest of the measure of the plane is here on these 4 chords. So, if I'm playing here on the 5th fret and my finger number 1 is playing on the 5th fret, if I have to play something on the 7th fret, my ring finger will play it. So, I will call them finger number 1, finger number 2, finger number 3, and finger number 4, okay? So in this moment, we are in a bar chord with a finger, with a ring finger, finger number 3, and this will be an F major 7 chord here. This 5, 5, 5, 7 here on the 3rd beat, 3rd down beat, and this is a F major 7 that is a really nice sounding chord here on the ukulele. So we only do, I will count 2 and see if you can follow me because I haven't played with you at all. So let's start play together, yes? So I will count 2 and start very slowly and try to play all the figure number 1. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, down, up. So, I'm sorry that we didn't do any stretching, any warm up. We are going straight to the exercise, but I promise next time we will do a warm up. So we just warm up the ear because I would just have been talking and haven't played at all. So figure number 1 again. I'm gonna count 2. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, down, up. So I put the lyrics on and it will help us to locate ourselves later when we read the tabs. It will sound like this. 1, 2. Hola, qué cosa más. It's in Portuguese. I didn't write the English one. I just realized that I name it in English all the time, but it's on the Portuguese lyrics. I hope you don't mind because it's the original, let's say. But the English one is also really nice. So Frank Sinatra wrote it. I don't know. Okay, so that's the figure number one. Any questions so far? Okay, so as you might notice, this is an upstroke and this is an upstroke. And when I do upstrokes, I don't know if I told it, I said it, I said before, but when I do upstrokes, I don't play the 4 strings like that as in a downstroke. When I play a downstroke, I do play the 4 strings, but when I do in upstrokes, I play only 3, 2 strings. So my upstrokes are not like this, like from down in a upward movement, but more like an out. I'm going outside, like my hand is going like this outside. So if you look from this perspective, my hand is doing something like this: down, out, down, out, down, out, down, out. I'm not doing down, up, down, up, down, up. That's not how I strum. I'm doing down, out, down. So you see, I'm doing this up, and when I go down, I twist my arm in a way that my hand is doing the up movement, but as I'm going out, so I try all the time the upward movements, the upbeat movements, the upstrokes to be softer than the downstrokes. Okay, let's continue. I have been talking for 30 minutes and we have only 15 minutes left. I'm sorry. So I will try to rush from now. So figure number one, I think we have it already. So let's try to see figure number two. And it goes down, down, up, down. I'm sorry, it goes like this. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's kind of tricky. I'm gonna explain it movement by movement. So first beat, figure number two is a down beat. We go back to the bar chord with the pinky and then another downbeat. So 2 downbeats, down, down, up, down. So far is the same as figure number one, but then we do another up. So it sounds like this until the 4 beat. Until the 4 beat sounds like this. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Yes, so then there is a 6, 6, 6, 6 here. This will be a passing chord and it sounds like this. We want to count 2. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the tricky part, that we do an up movement with this passing chord and we go to this next G chord. So we will have to be all the time with the rest of our fingers, they have to be all the time prepared for what is coming next. So all the time, whenever I'm making a chord, my other fingers that I have left, I keep them all the time as close as the string as possible, yes, without touching them. But sometimes it looks like I was pressing with all my fingers, but no, I'm actually pressing with two fingers, and the other looks like they were being pressed too. So most of the time, what we have to do mainly is try to keep them ready and all the time, yes, relaxed. Okay. So figure number one and figure number two, I'm gonna play it together to see if you can follow me. One, two. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Again, one, two. One, two, and three, and four, and one, and two, and three, and four, and one, two. One, two, and three, four, and one, and two, and three, and four, and so we have like the rest of the time that we have left, I won't talk at all, and we'll be practicing. I'm gonna count two, and I'm just gonna say what are we gonna play, and then we're gonna try to repeat it. Okay? One, figure number one, and figure number two. One, two. Down, down, up, down, and four, and one, and two, and three, and four, and one, two. Hola, qué cosa más linda, más llena de gracia. So we arrived here to this G. We were all the time here on this block, here in the F block, and now our hand moved entirely to this other block here to the 7th fret. So all the next two figures are gonna be played on this block. Our finger or index will be all the time from now until figure number 5 on the 7th fret. Okay, so figure number 3 sounds like this. I'm gonna count it 2. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, down, down. So this is the part that we should be doing an upstroke, but yes, it doesn't matter that we break a little bit the pattern, because here this 7 is like kind of easy to play instead of this 6th fret, this D note here on this first string. Because if our hand is here, it's easy to reach some of the notes here that are here already, instead of moving the index to play this note that goes outside of what I'm talking about. That is what I called a block. I don't know how somebody else calls them, but this is kind of the way that I conceive or the way that I look my arrangement or how I play. So that was the answer for the question that Phyllis asked about the low G, because if we do here in figure number 3, I do down, down, up, down, down, down. Here I'm playing this melody. I'm gonna count 2. 1, 2. Sa, la, so the melody is here, and I want to make emphasis. I want to emphasize here on the note that the melody is on. So figure number 4 goes, it's pretty easy. This figure number 3 looks really similar to figure number 1 actually. It's kind of the same rhythmic pattern. So in figure number 4, we do 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down. What? This 8? What? I'm sorry, maybe I made a mistake there. No. The next melody because goes Nina, que viene, que pasa. Yes, that note is the note that announces the next chord that is a G major 7, and this is the seventh note of that G minor 7, that this is an F chord. So this here we have on G7, and playing this F announces this next change on G minor. So when we do figure number 4, we do this. Figure number 4, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so in this moment, and this is where some of the main parts of this lesson. So for all the ones that are watching, please pay attention to this, because what we may end up doing here, if I don't explain this, is this here: down, down, up, down, up, down, 8, playing this 8 with this 2, with this second finger, with this ring finger. Don't get used to that, because I'm gonna explain what this is wrong, because this is not wrong. This could be the most let's say uh, the first thing that it comes to my mind when I see this 8. I will say, okay, let's play with this finger. But as the next position is this G minor, and we will be playing this G minor using this fifth fret note that is a D note. So it's a D. So as we will be needing to play that note, I will play this next chord with this position, and changing from here in an upstroke in this last upbeat, this 8 here, up to the next. I believe that the lesson, that the session is gonna close at some point. I'm sorry, because I need to pay the Zoom subscription, so I can make longer sessions. But if you want to continue another 15 or 20 minutes, you are very welcome. I will open the session, and you just have to open the link again, because I would like to at least finish the two lines, and leave you ready for the next lesson, that will be the third line. So as I was saying, this A note here on the last upbeat on the fourth figure, if we play it with this middle finger, it will make us very hard to make this chord change, this switch from this position to this next position here on 8, 6, 7 here, because this 8, 6, 7 might look also like this, but I need to use this shape, because as I said before, we need this 8, this fifth note here at some point of the figure. So the shape that I will do here in this point is this G minor shape that comes from this E minor. This is an E minor shape, but from now we will think about this shape as a minor shape. Thank you. Thanks, June. Thanks, Roger. We only need Phyllis, but here she is. Okay, so as I was saying, this is very important, and this is what I want to give you in this lesson, because I hope that some things or the things that I have said are new for you, but that there aren't also not new, but that you can keep them and you can use them in the future. So this E minor shape, from now on, I will call it an E minor shape, but we will continue use it along the fretboard. So if I play just these 3 strings and just move this shape, I don't need the 4th string if I play only the 3 strings. So this is one of the things that I do all the time, is play, for example, as you see in figure number 8, we are only playing the 3rd string, so I'm playing a chord. And also, I don't know why, because we are here on the, it's strange. I don't know why I didn't write here, because we are on a G, so the 4th open string is a G note. So also is very kind of obvious that the G note has to be on the G chord, but anyway, sorry for that. But anyway, and that wasn't the best example. But there are some points and some of my arrangements that I don't play the 4th strings, but only the 3rd strings. For example, here in this B7 here on figure number 19, I'm only playing the 3rd strings because that's easy, not for me, but for anyone who is trying to play this arrangement, so that that only plays a chord with 3 strings and play whatever they have to do with those 3 strings. Believe me, nobody will ever say, oh, but you are playing only 3 strings, you are not playing properly that ukulele because you need to play the 4 strings. No, also in the guitar is not, doesn't play, they shouldn't be playing all the time the 6 strings. But let's continue. Let's continue. So, as I was saying, here on this 8, we need to make the chord change properly at this point with this 8. So what I do, and what I would like you to do, is on this figure number 4, when we do 1, 2, down, down, up, down. I'm sorry, 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down. I go and I move my hand. I lift my fingers. I release the bar chord. And I go to this pinky on this 8. So I'm kind of making the chord change from this 8 already. So the movement from this downbeat to this upbeat should be something like this. Down, up, down, up. So I'm gonna count 2. 1, 2. Down, up, down, up. 1. Down, up, 2. Down, up, 3. Down, up, 4. Down, up, 3. Down, up, 4. Down, up. So that's it, the way that I make sure that I will land here on the up, down, up, down. So as you see, I'm making this chord with this index on the 5th string, with this E minor shape, and this pinky here on the 4th fret of my block. Because at this point, I'm making this E minor shape, but my block has 4 frets. So my pinky belongs to that block, and I need the pinky here on the 4th fret of the block. Remember, the block begins wherever my index is. So in this point, the block that I'm playing on is again, which one? The 5th fret block, here as the figure number 1, where when we were playing at the first, that I tell you that the main things that were going to happen was between these 4 frets. Well, we are again here on figure number 5, and yes, figure number 5, because figure number 6, it changes to C chord. But again, here we are. So I'm playing this E minor shape from the 5th fret, this stairs shape, minor, and my pinky. So what we are going to do from this 4th downbeat on figure number 4 to this first downbeat on figure number 5 will be this. From figure number 5, from beat number 5 to the first beat, to the next first beat. So it will be something like this. 1, 2. Down, up, down. 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 1, 2. ¿Qué pasa? Okay, so you're getting, we have to play all the time and practice mainly the chord changes. So for example, I didn't practice too much from this fourth beat to this first downbeat on this part. So let's practice a little bit, maybe for those who feel a little bit lost on that part. So we'll sound something like this. 1, 2. Down, up, down. 1, 2. Down, up, down. Here we land on the first. We continue moving the bar chord, but we land with the pinky also. Yes? 1, 2. Down, up, down. 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 Okay, so I will try to play so far what we have from figure number 1 to the first beat, the first 2 beats of figure number 5. Yes, so I'm gonna count 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 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 2. So remember the pinky? Yes, yes. So that's important. And now we are understanding why. Because we won't have too much time, and that note here is very important for the song. So I'm gonna try to play from all the figure number 4. Let's try to play just figure number 5 to understand figure number 5, and then we try to play figure number 5, number 4 and 5. So in figure number 5, we do this G minor shape, as I said, with this pinky on the 8th fret, down, down. We lift the pinky, up, down, up, and we rise the pinky here to the 2nd fret, and we play the same 8th fret with the same pinky, but in the 2nd string. Yes, so figure number 5 sounds like this. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down. 1, 2. Sanium, do. Oh man, and I confused with the lyrics. 1, 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2. Sanium, do, say. Sorry. Sanium, do, se. Sanium, do, se, va. All right. 1, 2. Sanium, do, se, va. Okay. So figure number 4 and 5. 1, 2. We go back to this G shape here in the 7th fret. 1, 2. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Pinky, up, down, down, up, down, up. pinky. Once again, 1 slower, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 pinky, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Much more slower. I know I'm playing it faster. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 pinky, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 4. Yes, so now that you understand the very importance of anticipate, and also that all the time when I write these chords, when I write these tabs, I can explain all of this. So you see this tab, and you might think this 8, you will see, you will think maybe just like me, okay, I'm gonna play with the middle finger, with the second finger, but then the next position requires that note that to be played with another finger in order to continue with the smoothness, with the fluently, you know, because we need to keep the fluentness of the song. The song has to be fluent. So now that we resolve, and now we know what, yeah, you already know what you have to do. Let's try to finish with the line, and you can practice all of this for the next lesson, all the ones that might be watching. Okay, so figure number 6, we release everything and we just leave the index. So before here we were on this G minor 7 with this E minor shape with the pinky playing around these 8 frets here. That's where the position where we was the last time. And now in this next measure, we go to the C chord and we release everything. We do this down and we do this hammer with the third finger because the block continues here. Now we're gonna move it, but this is the last position or the last movement that we do on the block that we were in before switching. So we do here on the first beat, we do down, 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 hammer on the 7 and another down. Then we go down, down, and down. And then it's up to you. You can do with the index, but then we will go again, move the index again to the first fret, because this third fret note here on this A minor on the figure number 7 will require us this position. Why? Because we need the index also ready for figure number 8. So from figure number 6, we are getting ready for figure number 8 without knowing it. Because if we played figure number 7 with these 2 fingers, playing this A minor with index and middle, when we get to the point to the to the figure number 8, we need this G7, and this requires this configuration here, these fingers, 3, 1, and 2. So that's why we are getting ready for that from figure number 6, and we do this. I'm gonna count 2. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 4 with the index. We continue here to the first fret, and then our whole block moves to the first fret. We start here on 5th fret, we went to 7th fret on figure number 3, then we went back in figure number 5 to the 5th fret block, and then on the 3rd fret, on the second upbeat of figure number 6, we are switching to the first fret block. And I don't know if you're getting all this block, let's say, theoretical thing, because this might be new for you, but I'm kind of gonna insist with this setup, with this mindset, because is what works the best for me. So figure number 6, again, talking too much, profe. Again, figure number 6, and I'm gonna count 2. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we do this and with the third finger, and then we land on, again, this third note here on the upbeat is announcing what comes next. So figure number 6, again, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's kind of an arpeggio, and my arpeggios, or I don't know if I told you before, but the main distribution that I do with my right hand to pick the strings is this. Most of the times when I have to play something on the first string, it will be played with my middle finger. Most of the times when I have to play something on the second string, I will be playing it with my index finger. And most of the times when I have to play something on the third string and the fourth string, I will be playing it with my thumb. With my thumb. In that way, my hand doesn't have to move anywhere, and I just have to think about the finger, and the finger finds itself the string. Because if my middle finger touches the first string, my index is shorter than my middle finger, so my index will get to the second fret, to the second string by itself. So at this point, at figure number 7, I'm gonna do down, up, down, index, thumb, down, index, thumb, thumb. That's what I do. You can pick as you want. But as I said, most of the time when I'm playing these notes here on the first fret, on the first string, I'm gonna be picking them with my index or my middle finger. And these notes here on the fourth string, I will be picking them with my, or on the third fret, on the third string, I'm sorry, I will be playing them with my thumb. So figure number 7 goes 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then my hand goes down here because my middle finger goes from the fourth string to the third string, and my index lands on the first fret where I leave it here on the last 4 beat of the figure number 6. I leave my index there. I haven't been using it from this measure, but then I need it again on figure number 8. So I do figure number 8, sounds like this: 1, 2, 1 and chalk up, 3, 2, 4. So a little bit confusing. Again, 1, 2, 1 and chalk and 3 and 4. So it sounds like this: 1, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. But I know it's hard to play at that speed. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down, up, chalk, up. Down, 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 chalk, up, chalk. Pick down, down, up, chalk, up. Pick down, slower. Down, up, chalk, up. Down, up, chalk, up. So these ups,
Profe,
I'm picking them with my 4 fingers. Tell me.
how are you doing the chuck and doing it that fast?
Yes, I haven't explained the chalk. It's because sometimes I think that somebody else has done it, and yes. So, yes, there's a lot of tutorials about this, but yes, what I do might be different from what some of the teachers have teach, because there is a lot of ways to do it, and there is no, let's say, a proper one. It is what works for you the best. So what I do here when I do down up and this up beat, I wrote all the notes of the upbeat, because this upbeat I will be picking with my fingers like this, with these 3 fingers, like all the strings at the same time, like engaging these fingers here like this, these 3 fingers maybe, depending on your taste. But yes, I might be using these 4 strings for this up movement. So when I do down, up, chuck. So when I do this chuck, yes, sometimes I hit the ukulele. Sometimes my main chuck is this one. What I'm really chucking, I'm doing this open hand movement. So imagine that your hand is just doing this, like tapping the ukulele, but I open my hand just before tapping. I As I go down, I open my hand like faster but softly, and that's how I chuck. But at this point, in this moment, I believe that what I'm doing is this. I'm just tapping a little bit, because as I need to do another upbeat afterwards, so I'm not opening my hand, so my fingers doesn't have to locate the strings again. I just do, so I just press again the strings that I'm gonna be plucking them. So I do pluck, mute, pluck. So it sounds like chuck, up, one, up, chuck, up. So it's gonna be one and chuck, up, 1 and 2, one and chuck, up. Yes. So yes, I know it's tricky. I hope that you get to work on it, because it will be something like this. Just figure number 8 for those who want to practice it with me right now. 1, 2, 1 and chuck, and 3 and 4. That was a downstroke. Downstroke. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3. Again. 1, 2, 1 and chuck, up, 3 and down. Slower. I might be playing it too fast. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So as you see, we are not doing melody, we are just feeling. This is just a feeling up, because actually the melody, as you see, finish it here on Dumar, and all of this is just a feeling up that I'm doing, and it sounds like this. So this just is just a nice sounding feeling, but we could do this. What was that? Down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So whatever you like to do on that part is up to you. What I'm just trying to teach you is that on this figure we are playing on a A minor, and here we are playing over a G7. So if you make those chords and you want to play another configuration, another arpeggio, another strumming pattern, put the chalk in other place, you are free to do it, of course. So and that's one thing that I can say on the tabs, you know. So I'm glad that we begin doing these lessons, but because finally I'm able to explain my tabs and to you straightly, so you don't get confused trying to read in them, and also we get to know and we get to, I don't know, I really like to have this new space, and I really would like you to continue joining, and I hope that you enjoyed, of course. Any feedback that you would like to give me, please do so. And let's try to finish with some repetitions before you release that ukulele. Let's try to play it a few times from figure number 1 to figure number 8, just to have the recording already made so you can practice it along with it. And next time we will continue with the third line. So it will sound something like this. I'm gonna repeat a few times over and over and over. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, Pinky, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, up, chuck, up, 3 and down, 1, 2 again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, Pinky, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, up, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and down, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and Pinky, and 1 and 2 to play faster than that. I know that was fast already. I know. I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope that you like it. I'm gonna play it once again just to have you listen what it might sound a little bit faster, but please don't rush and don't try and don't get frustrated, especially if you don't want, if you can't play it that fast, because it takes time. It takes time. Please be patient with yourself. I have so much patience. I can take all the answers. Don't worry. Don't feel that you can ask. Don't feel that you don't feel shy about it. Don't feel that you should be playing it right already. This is not meant to be played straight, properly, with a nice clear sounding. This takes time. So please don't think that you need to be playing it properly, extremely right, or if something doesn't sound nice, continue. Doesn't sound nice, well, to you, I mean, continue playing as much as you can and focus on that part especially. This is my main suggestion. So I'm gonna do it because I have too little time. It's beautiful outside and I'm gonna play outside with my daughter. So I'm really thankful. I already extended a lot. This was supposed to be a 45 minutes lesson, but I make it this stretch because I really appreciate and really happy to see you. I wasn't expect to see too much faces. This is new for me, so thank you for joining and supporting everything. I'm really thankful for that. So I'm gonna count two. One, two. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, pinky, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, da, da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba. Hola, qué cosa más linda, más llena de gracia, es la menina que viene, que pasa, él no se balanza, camino de mar. One and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two, three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and three and four. One and two and three and four and 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 one and two and three and three, one and two and so see how I mess it up at some point here at the end, but as I continue and I kept my playing and I kept the counting, I left it behind and maybe it wasn't a little bit less noticeable than if we stop or something like that. So more of this will continue in the future. Uh, just to say goodbye. I'm gonna try to play as much as I can. I haven't practiced it too much lately, but let's try to hear a little bit of what are we learning here. So we'll sound something like this. Let's see how can I go. How it goes. One, two. One, two, three, and four, and one, and two, and I made a little mistake there. Sorry. No. Sorry, this part. This is a tricky part. Figure number 32. It goes. Sorry, 6 and 7. Just after. Okay, so sounds like this. Figure number 32. 1, 2. So here, little mistake, little correction. So, any questions, any doubts, any feedback? Thank you very much.
I do, Profe. This was awesome. You say you talk too much, but I gained so much from going over the movables. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for saying it because sometimes as I haven't explained anything or I haven't given any lessons before or to some of the ones that might be watching this recording also. So I feel that there is so much gaps that I need to fill as especially we're here at the beginning and especially because we are beginning with a song that is not like I don't know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something like very from the basic, but we are going straight further to some positions and some very tricky things that requires yes practice and especially the proper techniques because if we learn it with the proper techniques it becomes much more easier to play and to read. But thank you. I don't know if
Thank you.
Phyllis, is there any questions? Nothing. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. See you next Friday, and bye bye.